Hey everyone, it's Amy here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a follow-up love it or leave it review to the new KYLIE Cosmetics Holiday Eyeshadow Palette that I shared my first impressions with you guys a few weeks ago. So I've had several weeks to play with this, so I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my final thoughts and opinions, whether or not I love it, would I leave it, would I recommend it, and all that good stuff, as well as some live brush swatches. So first I'm going to read you some information off of KYLIE's website, then we'll jump into the swatches, and then we'll jump into my final thought. It does retail normally, I believe, for $42. Now that it's sold out, it takes away the price, but I believe it was $42. And each of these are 0.05 ounces. So it says the KYLIE Cosmetics KYSHADOW Pressed Powder Eyeshadow Palette is your secret weapon to create the perfect KYLIE eye. Each KYSHADOW palette comes with 9 pressed powder eyeshadows that can be used together to recreate KYLIE's favorite looks or customize your own. These special shades are infused with diamond powder and packaged in limited edition silver packaging for the holiday season. So here's what the packaging looks like. I think it's gorgeous. This silver metallic finish. It has the teardrops with all the jewel tones to give you kind of an idea of what the shades in the palette look like. And then on the back it does share with you guys the names in the palette of the eyeshadows. And then it says the KYSHADOW Holiday Palette Pressed Powder Eyeshadows are talc free and paraben free with medium buildable coverage and a velvety smooth finish. So that's a little information on the palette. Again, let's see close up what these shades look like. I think these are just absolutely stunning. Nothing from my first impression has changed about the packaging, the colors, how well it's curated, the beautiful jewel tones for the winter and for the holidays. I love everything about the packaging and the way this palette looks. Let's go ahead and talk about my favorite shades in here and which ones I think are a little bit harder to deal with. So as far as the two matte shades down here, for my skin tone personally, I think these are excellent. I love them. I love this one to set my primer and as an all over base so that all the other eyeshadows play well together. I think this one makes a really nice transition shade. I love that it kind of has that pinky mauve undertone. I think it's really pretty, as well as it goes really nicely with these shades. I do think if you have medium and deeper skin tones, I'm not so sure how well these colors will show up on you, but I do think they are really, really excellent. Really smooth, really silky. This one builds up really nicely as well on top of a primer. I love these two shades because those are always the two shades I start off with when I'm using this palette. As far as the silver shade in here, this one is called Frosty. You guys, I love this shade. It builds up so nicely. It is so intense and metallic and the perfect silver for the holidays. I absolutely love it. So moving on to this row right here, these are all still kind of that metallic luster shades, but I don't think they're as good as these two shades right here, Silent Night and Frosty. Like, these are on a whole new level. This shade right here, Frosty and Silent Night, like, this is the one I wore in my first impressions and showed you guys a tutorial on. These are on a whole new level. They're amazing. They're so foiled. They're so pigmented. So easy to work with. Amazing. A+ on those two shades. I think these are good, but I don't think they're A+. I don't think they're as amazing, but I do think they eventually can be built up. I'd say out of these three shades right here, the last three remaining luster shades, the weakest one is definitely the shade Winter, just because it takes a lot longer to build up. It can be kind of patchy at first, but then eventually it's okay. But I think these two right here pack a better punch and are easier to work with right off the bat. So that leaves these two shades right here, the remaining matte shades in the palette. And the one that I think is the weakest shadow in this palette is this shade Evergreen. I do think it's the patchiest formula still. That was kind of my first impression. Still my final thought that this one is patchy. It can be built up, but it's still not as strong as these other matte shades in the palette. So unfortunately that one is a little weak. I think the shade right here called Gingerbread, it's nice. It's definitely a nice matte. You do have to build it up. These two shades right here, I don't think they play super nicely together. I think either one of two things happen. I think one, they get muddled together and you lose both the colors, or two, sometimes when I'm trying to blend them, they almost want to stay in a layer and they don't want to blend. So I think if you're going to use these shades in your crease, use one or the other. Don't put them together. I do think this one is best applied in small concentrated areas. So I think underneath the lower lash line it's good, or I think if you really just want to deepen up just the outer V, then it's okay. But if you're really wanting to create a strong outer V and crease color, that your purple shade is going to work better than this green shade. Overall, I'm really impressed. I think the majority of the shades in here are phenomenal. I think they're beautiful. I think this is a wonderfully curated palette. Like, these tones and these colors are just stunning for the fall, winter, and the holiday season. I love it. So overall, this is definitely a love it. I would recommend it, even though despite these shades over here that they're a little bit harder to work with, this green shade, I still think you can work with this palette and make it work overall. So I hope you guys enjoyed the follow-up review and the live swatches of the new Holiday KYSHADOW palette. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. That way you're notified of all my upcoming videos, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!